So let me just say, I really wanted to do this. I've been really looking forward to it a long time, because I really wanted to have the opportunity to say thank you to a lot of people, and I've got to do that, particularly the last week or two. But you know, every one of you here, except for your plus ones, is really special to me.
It's you plus one.
And I really just kind of wanted to take the time to say thank you, you know, for another excuse to cry. And you know, so I appreciate you all paying $35 each to hear my gratitude. I will just say that I don't really know why or understand it, but I think, you know, 5 or 10 years ago, I just came to the conclusion that I really am the luckiest person there is. I just can't believe it sometimes. I wanted to tell you a little bit about, you know, how do you get to all this good luck, and how do you make it happen for 30 years. So there were a few things I wanted to tell you, and a few people that I particularly wanted to comment on, that have made, you know, my life feel tremendously fortunate. So some of the very nice things that have been said here recently, and were said tonight too, is kind of about my optimism, and my positivity and my encouragement, and I wanted you to thank the person who sent that to you through me. Because the person who's responsible for that is my mom. So her name is Chick, so let's all thank her on 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Chick.
You're welcome.
My pleasure. Sadly, sort of a side effect that came along with that is that occasionally people have, you know, sort of commented on that I'm full of myself and cocky and arrogant and things like that. Like maybe I think I'm the most special boy that ever touched the planet, and that because that was trained into me at a very early age. So you also have her to thank for that as well.
I'm for that shit.
So I made a little note here to talk about my sister Kristen. I had no idea that you were going to be here tonight, but you know, things that happen in our lives are things that inspire and influence us. And I will just say that you know, part of what created me was I think my first experience with cruelty and meanness was in not in the baseball bat incident that actually preceded that, but I did see I saw people who I just thought were beastly to my sister, and I couldn't stand for it. Often I did throw my face into their fists. But my sister somehow always overcame that. She has the fiercest determination of any person that I've ever seen, and I really fell in love with people overcoming adversity from watching her. And I knew I wanted to do more of that, and that came from seeing her just keep going and going and going. I want to say a couple of things about my kids. My daughter,
I'm here.
Carrie. There we go. I know it's a lot of damn talking. Anyway, I'll just say both my daughter Carrie and my son Sam are really some of the most moral and good people that I know. They always are guided by trying to do the right thing, and I'm always inspired to do the same from watching and learning from you. My Flanagan family, I just want to say, I don't think I really knew what unconditional love. I mean, you already heard some of the mean remarks with my mother too. But these families, the Flanagans, they love hard. They are devoted. They are a tribe. They always stand behind family, and that really taught me, I think, to feel very secure that no matter what, they were always going to be behind me. Where did Lamar go? I just want to say, you saw him speak a little bit earlier, but Lamar too was a guy that kind of took me under my wing when I was a freshman in high school, and he's always been the kindest man and was a fine example of a human being to inspire me to be a better person all the time. You saw a moment ago Phyllis disclose some of my less proud moments in life.
No one knows what that means, but you indeed. And I'm still pissed.
Well, let me just say that was one of those nights when or the next morning you wake up in the guest room and you think, how did I get here? And then you also think, oh, I bet I'm in trouble.
And he thanks me for cleaning up his vomit. I said the dog did it. Hey, I wouldn't do it. I never do it.
So I've always had this great family to support me, and rolling your eyes again?
Yes.
So I've always had this great family to support me, and I've always felt loved, and that's given me, I think, a lot of confidence to do some of the things that I felt was right. I would say that, later in life, 20 years ago, it was really one of the greatest things in my life to meet our best friends, the Copes. And I will tell you, one of the best lessons I learned was one night when Gary got home from work. He pulled up into the driveway, and I was out playing with my chocolate lab Bosco. He just went after Gary as if he was just a burglar and he was going to rip him to pieces. And Gary was younger than him, but still it was like physically impossible for him to run and hurdle into the back of his pickup. Nevertheless, he accomplished it. And the next day, I was looking in the backyard, and Woody was over at the fence with his tail wagging, or Bosco was, wagging his tail at the fence. And I had to investigate. I walked over and I took a look at it. And there was Gary feeding Bosco food. Somebody who I think in our world entirely would have been much more common for them to complain, to call the police, to insist that you put your dog down or whatever. Instead, he was out there making a friend with somebody who intended to harm him. And so I think I learned a lot about.
You got a tough stomach, got a lot of poison in it.
I'll say another great thing that helps you make it through life is having a great bartender. And there is none better than Tony Perez.
Whoa, Tony! Red pepper!
He's back there. Come rain or come rain or come shine, Tony is always there, and generally serving like our favorite libation, the Mike's Margarita. But every now and then, he'll bring out something different, like the Adios Motherfucker. So that has really helped get me through some of the more challenging weeks. So I guess just maybe a couple other things. I think we're, those of us who work for Kern Beach Tourist, we're really lucky people. I've been really lucky. Every day I've been able to go to work and feel proud of the organization that I work for, the people that I work with. I've always had wonderful, awesome bosses. Really kind of mostly starting with Dr. Marvin Southard, and then Diane Kodatek, and then Dr. Jim Waterman, and then no less wonderful, I'll mention a little bit more in a minute, has been Bill Walker. It really is a gift to not just go to work and do your time, but to feel like you and everybody around you is doing something really important and meaningful. That's been awesome. I have to say, every moment that I've had at work in these 30 years, every moment has felt like the best. I've just been lucky. It just like, things change every few years, people around change, but every time it's just felt like the best time. And I look back at the years when Deanna and I worked together, and we had such a great time up on our floor. We were a couple of offices away for many years, and your staff over the years, little Sarah Gutierrez at one time, Cece Scott, and then eventually now Gina and Christina and Caroline it just made the days fly by. It was so delightful to be around people like that. I had great assistants, Joanna Felshaw, who popped in to see me last week, couldn't be here, and Carolyn Tilton, who wouldn't be caught dead in a room with this many people.
You need Kleenex?
No, I can get through it. Thank you. I'm gonna miss all of those people. I'm gonna miss, I think, the best work friend I ever had, Liz Brown.
Which was mine.
Who we laughed our asses off together. We cried together. We got through a lot of tough things together. We could like talk forever, and we actually did try a couple of times, and then eventually, got sleepy and had to quit. But I will always miss her. One of my work sons, one of the most inspirational people I've ever met, James Velasquez, right here.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody who you would say, hey, I am going to give you one of the most difficult, challenging clients, families, somebody that has burned through other people, some people that people are really struggling with, and James would say, you know what, it sounds there's a lot we could learn from him or her or that family. Just to, constantly inspirational about the right way to be in this world. I've had many work daughters that I'm super proud of. You guys know who you are, Emily Lyles, Cece Felix back there. My first and best change agent, Alexis Shawsome, used to be Stokes, now she's just playing Shawsome. Kelly, Savannah, Dara, Amy.
Oh, where's our little Amy? Yeah, hi,
Amy and Amy, two Amy's.
Mr. Amy.
Lisa Blakely, who left a little bit earlier, just
The bartender?
people who
The bartender.
have been just delightful to me, and now I have a statement, a little comment here that says P is the toilet rain music. Damn it, autocorrect, I hate it. So oddly enough, I'm the person who always complains about people using paper. Bill, I thought you would enjoy this. I just switched to a new phone, and in the process, my retirement speech was erased. So I've done the best I could to reconstruct it today. Roger, of course, has like really brightened the last couple of years in Estella Padilla. We just had a wonderful little floor there. We did eat quite a bit of peanut and peanut butter M&Ms, and we helped each other. Judge Gill just said some really wonderful things, but she was the one who really taught me how to be an expert witness and to feel like a big deal. She's the one who really put together that Star Court, and it's really a gift for our community. And I'm really happy that that will live on. So you heard some mention earlier about Bill. Bill and I are men of the same era. We were born a month apart. We have many similarities about ourselves. We're not alike on everything by any means. But there was something that happened that resonated with us when we played volleyball back in the 80s together. With my new shoes, yes. I was just going to say it because I knew you'd come back up here and tell them. So, as Roger mentioned, we had decided several years ago that we really wanted to work together the rest of our careers, and many of you know that both Bill and I competed to become the director of our department, and as he often does, Bill kicked my ass and got it. And I will say that was a really hard time for me. It was a I think both of us had the same dream, and there was only one of us who could do it, and Bill couldn't have been lovelier or more delightful to work for. Since then, a lot of places when you compete with somebody for something, they find a way to eliminate you, and Bill found a way to include me. There were people at the board that had heard some not nice things about me. Apparently they hadn't talked to any of you. And Bill dedicated himself to rehabbing my reputation with the board, and as he always is, he was successful, and I think I was looked on perhaps with some favor again. I learned so much from you. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And I think that's something I've really kind of incorporated and tried to live. I've tried to be careful and slow and not jump into things before you really know what's going on. And I think I will always hear your voice in my head when I think about that. You have hired 3 delightful, poetic deputies. And they've really lightened my load. I have been able to have the nice transition into retirement that I dreamed of. I really wanted to be able to enjoy the last few months. I really wanted to be able to come around and see you and talk with you and hear you say wonderful things about me, write ballads. I think Mike's going to sing one later.
We love you, man. Yeah.
I had 2 things to look forward to every day when I came to work. One was coffee. Thank you, Cuisinart grinding coffee machine. You never failed me. You produced an incentive that I found intoxicating and irresistible. I came to work to see you every day. And then with my cup of coffee, I would walk into the office and see the most wonderful person, Kathy Gilmore, who all of you know, and we could be having this night to talk about her and how wonderful she is, professional, caring, loyal. Cook too, yeah. You saw the skinnier pictures of me, right? That was BK before Kathy. So, I guess lastly, I want to say that this was all an accident. I wasn't supposed to do this with my life. I was coming here to do a couple of years to get my license, and then I was gonna go into private practice and get a 2-story house and a sheepdog and a Porsche. And instead, I came to this job interview and I got grilled really hard by this aggressive, mouthy woman who
Fucking bitch.
who had no appreciation for the fake Rolex that I had acquired earlier that year. This is the honest truth. I remember walking out of that interview and thinking, that woman's gonna be trouble.
That's true. And still.
Yes, exactly.
She's been the most disruptive force in my life.
And now you can't leave and go to work.
And we worked together for 27 years. 27 years. And I gotta tell you something, most people don't really, most people wonder about that, how could you do that or whatever. I have to say, the last 3 years of my career have been the hardest. It is hard work, but I really think it's the hardest because I missed you.
I've been watching Netflix.
It might be shocking to know that she at one time was adventurous, but you know, I really learned to have passion, and everybody knows Deanna about her energy and her enthusiasm, how she lights up a room when she comes in there, and she certainly lit me up, and we have had an adventurous life that comes from, hot tub skinny dipping at the Christmas party at the Meadowsfield Airport. I remember.
As Dr. Southern walked by and I had to say hi.
Yeah.
The director.
Deanna's idea, to petting sharks
Swimming with sharks.
in Bora Bora, driving off cliffs in Hawaii,
Oh, I saw that.
Crazy.
You got her first though.
No shoulders.
AAA insurance covered the damage to the vehicle.
Yeah.
I am, the hard thing about this is really saying goodbye to all of you wonderful people.
We're gonna come visit. Exactly.
You have to ask Deanna first. But we are going to have more Brad and Deanna's safari adventures.
I say it all the time, every adventure.
And I'm really excited about having our next adventures together that will involve a telescope and some other things.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to drink a lot of beer first.
Oh my God.
only a small telescope.
All right.
So I just kind of want to wrap up because I really want to listen to Mike. Some of you I've been able to tell already, but I've been kind of Mike Massey's stalker now for about the last 5 years. How long ago did you do the Africa video? What year was that?
2010.
Okay,
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
So it took a couple of years for me to catch on to it. The young man behind you there was the one who turned me on to it, and I'm telling you, you will think that when you hear Mike singing, you're gonna think it's Toto that you're hearing.
Awesome. So awesome.
I'm gonna stay here until your fingers bleed tonight. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. Or I could sing it for you if you want. Mike accompanies me. But I really just want to say that it really has been a delight. The 30 years are a little bit mind-blowing. I think on the inside, I think I still look like this guy. That's what I feel like. And then when I walk by windows or mirrors and things like that, and then I see this, I'm like, it doesn't feel like 30 years at all. But you guys have made it easy, and you've made it really nice and really wonderful. And I have loved getting to know all of you and getting to do the important, meaningful things that we have got to do. And just listening to you all, I think tonight, I really have this strong sense of fulfillment about my career and sort of inside going, crushed it. So, thank you. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for all we've been able to do together. I'm just like the luckiest guy alive, and you are all part of my good luck. Thank you. Good job.
Red Cloud, everybody. All right, well, it's time to hear some